Imagine a world where one court ruling could shape the reputation of two of Hollywood's brightest stars. Now imagine that world turned upside down by a single interview. What if the real story behind the courtroom drama wasn't the victory, but the battle still raging in the shadows? Well, buckle up, because that's exactly what just happened in the explosive legal standoff between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, where behind the smiles and press statements lies a war of words, shattered reputations, and a $400 million storm. Bryan Freedman, the legal voice for Justin Baldoni, has officially stepped into the public spotlight. He made his position crystal clear in an exclusive interview with TMZ released just moments ago. "I was settling down for the evening, watching some TV, when the notification popped up, and I instantly knew I had to share this update. Before we dive in, welcome to the channel." If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe. We're pushing for 11K subscribers by tonight, and we're only 30 away. I'm Ashley Brianna Eve, and with over 15 years in branding and marketing, I break down pop culture stories from a perspective few others can. Now back to this developing drama. According to Freedman, Blake Lively's so-called victory lap is nothing more than a premature celebration. Yes, the media may have labeled her recent court win as a big success, but Freedman calls it what it truly is, a false victory tour. And that phrase is more than just words. It's a calculated move, what we call in SEO strategy, keyword hijacking. By using the same language being used to celebrate Blake, Bryan's team ensures their side of the story is pushed to the top of search engines. Smart and strategic. So what really happened? Just days ago, a judge dismissed Baldoni's defamation suit, one that included a staggering $400 million claim against Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds. Sounds like a legal knockout, right? Not so fast. According to Bryan, this ruling isn't the end. It's not even close. In fact, the judge has left the door wide open for 4 of the 7 original claims to be amended. And Freedman made it clear, amend them they will. He accuses Blake of running away from the truth and insists she should keep moving forward with the lawsuit. His reasoning: if she follows through, the process will allow them to clear Justin's name, especially when it comes to the allegations of sexual harassment, SH. Freedman warns that if Blake tries to drop her claims, it'll look like she's avoiding scrutiny. He also casts doubt on whether a judge would force a woman making such serious accusations to continue the case if she doesn't want to. He goes further, saying Blake has no solid proof of a smear campaign. He even mocks her PR team's defense, that they stored email drafts with content creators as evidence, as completely absurd. He jokes that the only people who'd think to use email drafts as a tactic are the ones who have done it themselves. In other words, Freedman is flipping the script. You want transparency? Let's do it. You want justice? Let's talk facts. We're ready for court. And that's not all. Blake is reportedly set for a deposition later this month, and Freedman isn't convinced she'll even show. But if she does, he's prepared to grill her thoroughly, armed with what he claims is compelling new evidence, including text messages, videos, and email exchanges. He hints that this might even include exchanges involving Taylor Swift, which raises a whole new set of questions. The ultimate goal for Baldoni and his team is not just a legal win, it's vindication. It's proving in court that there was no smear campaign, no sexual harassment, and no truth to Blake's claims. As Freedman put it, the court case is about reclaiming reputations, his clients and those of others wrongly accused. Baldoni's legal team plans to amend their lawsuit to pursue other still standing charges, intentional interference with contracts, economic interference, and breach of fair dealing, all against both Blake and Ryan. Despite the PR machine pushing a narrative of total victory, these claims are still very much alive, and this is where the contrast becomes sharp. While Blake's camp celebrates in the media, Baldoni remains quiet, focused on his family, waiting for his day in court, and determined to let the truth speak for itself. Freedman praises this restraint, saying it reflects the character of someone who isn't just chasing headlines, but justice. The real twist: Baldoni's lawyer doesn't just want the court of law. He wants the court of public opinion. He says it's not just about the $400 million. Sure, that's a huge figure, but it's the reputational damage that stings the most. Baldoni has lost work, seen his charity affected, and been painted with a brush he claims is completely undeserved. Meanwhile, Lively's team, especially her PR handlers, are being heavily criticized for pushing this victory tour narrative. Freedman sees it as not only tone deaf but damaging, especially if new evidence surfaces that challenges Blake's credibility. At this point, the lines have been drawn. Blake is publicly victorious. Justin is quietly building his case. And Bryan Freedman is out here disrupting the narrative, one interview at a time, because this story is far from over. Imagine a world where fame collides with legal warfare, where A-list smiles mask behind the scene's courtroom turbulence, and where the real victory lies not in a verdict, but in the power to shape public perception. This is the case with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, whose explosive legal drama has now taken a shocking new twist. Bryan Freedman, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, didn't just release a statement. He made an on-camera appearance with TMZ, an unfiltered, deliberate move meant to upend the media narrative. It wasn't just for legal clarification. It was strategic, emotionally charged, and laser-focused on reframing the victory that Blake Lively's PR team has been selling to the public. What Freedman did was more than a legal reaction. It was a media strike of its own, and let's talk about that, because we're not just analyzing a court case here, we're analyzing a battle for truth, brand power, and social influence. The media, especially major outlets like TMZ, play a crucial role in sculpting public opinion. When a celebrity's legal win is plastered across headlines, the general audience moves on, thinking it's over. But Freedman made it clear this war is still raging and it's far from finished. According to Freedman, Blake's victory tour isn't just premature, it's misleading, and by labeling it as such, he's doing something very clever in the world of PR, keyword hijacking. Let me explain. When Blake's team began using phrases like victory lap in their press coverage, they essentially planted SEO seeds all over the internet. Freedman took those exact phrases, repurposed them with a twist, and now his rebuttal is being picked up by the same search algorithms. When you Google Blake Lively victory, Freedman's counter-narrative is likely to rise to the top. That's not just reactive PR, that's aggressive digital chess. But what is this case really about? Let's rewind. Blake Lively originally filed a CRD complaint and then followed up with a formal lawsuit alleging that she was the target of a smear campaign and that she had been sexually harassed by Baldoni. These are not light accusations. They carry enormous weight in both public and legal contexts, and yet, according to Freedman, these claims are not only unfounded, but they were also submitted with full knowledge of their lack of evidence. In the interview, Freedman stated bluntly that Blake's team has admitted behind closed doors that they have no proof of a smear campaign. He adds sarcastically, that's because there never was one. It's a brutal statement that reframes the entire issue. And then comes the shocking part: allegedly, the only way Blake's team was able to claim any coordination between Baldoni's supporters and the media was through email drafts. Yes, not sent emails, drafts. As in, saved messages never actually sent, stored in draft folders. The implication that Blake's team, or someone working with them, may have been using shared email access to plant narratives or communicate in a way that couldn't be easily traced. This is the kind of revelation that could flip the credibility of the whole case. Freedman's stance is unambiguous. These claims are absurd. He even jokes that only someone who has done this kind of tactic would know it exists, indirectly suggesting that Blake's team may be revealing their own playbook. What's the end game for Baldoni and Freedman? Vindication. According to Freedman, it's not even about the $400 million lawsuit. Sure, that number grabs headlines, but for Baldoni, the real goal is to restore his name and prove in court that the allegations are false. Freedman's tone throughout the interview made it clear this is about integrity, about clearing his client of deeply damaging accusations that have already had serious consequences. Baldoni has allegedly lost jobs, his charity work has been compromised, and he's seen industry relationships vanish in the aftermath of these claims. Freedman believes that once Blake is deposed, and he insists that deposition is happening this month, the real story will start to unravel. He questions whether she'll even show up, but says if she does, she'll be pressed hard on inconsistencies and challenged on her narrative. That deposition will be key, and it could either further damage Baldoni or begin a massive shift in public and legal perception. Now, let's talk strategy, because what's happening here isn't just a legal process. It's a public relations war. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' team appear to have made a critical error in judgment by launching what Freedman calls a tone-deaf media campaign. The Victory Tour narrative, according to Freedman, doesn't just mislead, it alienates. While Blake's side may be trying to control the story, it may be backfiring. Public sympathy could shift quickly if it appears that Blake is celebrating prematurely while the other party is simply asking for due process and the chance to prove innocence. There's also a bigger question brewing. Was this entire legal maneuver designed to corner Baldoni and damage him beyond repair, even if the allegations never held water? That's the picture Freedman is trying to paint. One where his client is being punished in the court of public opinion before the legal system has even rendered a final verdict. Adding further tension to this unfolding drama is the possible involvement of third parties, most notably Taylor Swift. Freedman teased that they have new evidence and hinted that Taylor may be somehow tied to the case through text messages or emails. This revelation opens a new Pandora's box. If someone like Taylor Swift is called into this case, even indirectly, the public spotlight will burn even brighter. It raises a serious issue. How deeply do celebrity friendships and alliances play into these kinds of public disputes? Are reputations being defended in private while legal chaos unfolds in public? All of this reveals the dual nature of modern celebrity legal drama. It's not just about courtrooms anymore, it's about timelines, hashtags, YouTube commentary, Reddit threads, and most of all, public influence. Bryan Freedman's interview was not just a defense, it was an attack. And not in the way people often expect from lawyers. There were no shouting matches, no harsh language, just calculated, cool dismantling of a PR narrative that's dominated the headlines for weeks. He says they're going to amend their lawsuit, that the court has left room for 4 of the original 7 claims to be refiled, and they're not backing down. The amended suit will focus on interference with contracts, intentional damage to economic prospects, and a violation of good faith dealings, all of which could carry real consequences if proven. What's striking is that Baldoni has largely remained silent. Unlike Blake, who has made subtle public gestures and been the face of celebratory PR, Justin has remained focused on the case, his family, and his private life. Freedman emphasized this more than once, that his client isn't taking a victory lap. He's not out there chasing media attention. He's waiting for his moment in court. It's a powerful contrast, and in the court of public opinion, it might be one that wins. Still, Freedman was clear. This isn't about just reacting to what Blake's team is doing. It's about reclaiming the truth, rebuilding a reputation, and setting the record straight no matter how long it takes. This legal saga is a case study in the new era of celebrity crisis management. The Lively Baldoni drama shows us how lawsuits, social media, and personal branding have merged into one giant spectacle. It's no longer about just winning in court, it's about controlling the conversation. About bending the narrative to your side and keeping it there long enough for the public to forget the details and remember only the headline. But Freedman won't let that happen. And as this story unfolds, one thing is certain: the truth is coming. whether Blake is ready or not. With the deposition around the corner and amended claims set to be filed, all eyes are back on this explosive case. Whether it leads to redemption or ruin for either side, we're all watching history unfold, in courtrooms, in news feeds, and in the comments sections where every piece of evidence becomes its own mini-trial. Because in 2025, justice isn't just blind, it's also viral.